Trail talk time. Out on another glorious trail. Beautiful sunny day. Squirrels are hopping around playing. I wanted to discuss a topic today in Taoism, a concept called Wu Wei, which essentially translates to either like non-resistance or non-forcing. It's all about going with the flow, moving with the flow of life, and not trying to force anything, but simply allowing yourself to be as you are. And I essentially equate it to trust in a big way, trusting yourself. I've had an example in another video about a sailor, not becoming, I said a sailor doesn't become a proficient sailor by just sailing on calm waters or calm seas, right? They are tested by waves, they're tested by the weathers, and this is what makes them a better sailor. They learn to go with the flow and adjust. They learn to be adaptable. And I think this is a good example. Sometimes winds will start to push against us, and it can be fruitless to just try and push back up against it. You'll be wasting a whole lot of energy. But if you can learn to simply adjust your sails a little bit, then you can easily utilize that wind and its energy, or whatever energy may be pushing against you, or whatever resistance, and you can actually utilize it to empower you, to get you to where you need to go. And I really like what Alan Watts said, the great Alan Watts.
Piper, you shut up.
Let me get past these dogs here. But Alan Watts, he talked about, anything you do. He used the example of archery, right? Let's say you want to learn how to shoot an arrow, a bow and arrow. And he talked about struggling with it, getting frustrated, trying it and failing over and over again, until you get to that point where you almost want to give up. You're almost at that point of despair where you feel like, I can't do it. But there's something in you that wants to do it. And so at that point where you just feel like you can't do it, you kind of have this moment of surrender. You let go and you just simply allow your hands to do it. And all of a sudden, you got this perfect shot. You reach your target, you reach your bullseye. And it was because you weren't forcing it. You weren't struggling with it. You were just letting go. You're like, almost in that moment where you felt like, I have to get this, but I don't know how to go about doing it. I can't think my way into it. And so you drop that thinking about it and you just allow yourself to do it. Right? Like Yoda said, he's like, do or do not, right? There is no try. And that's very wise words. Trying is essentially that struggle, right? That forcing, you're just trying to kind of use your brute force or think your way through it, and it's just kind of mucking up the gears a bit instead of just allowing yourself to flow in the way that you want. And this goes for anything in life, you know. He also talked about swimming, wanting to learn how to swim, and getting to that point again, you know, where you're like, I'm either gonna do this or I'm gonna, you know, I'm not gonna be that kid that doesn't know how to swim. I'm gonna do it. And you just have that moment where it's all or nothing, and you just kind of plunge in and jump into that water. And that goes back to that trust, you know. You allow yourself to do what you want by trusting that it's going to work out for you. You know, you trust that it's going to be okay, and you jump in that water, and the rest will take care of itself, you know. And the more that you freak out, right, then that's, you know, the more you struggle, then that's really going to just bring you down, and you're going to sink to the bottom. Whereas if you just simply trust yourself that, hey, this is working out, and be calm about it, then all of a sudden you're just floating naturally, right? You just start to float. You trust your arms, you trust your legs to do what they need to do. And so yeah, I just wanted to quickly share that, the Wu Wei. I'm always inspired when I'm learning about Taoism. It's so beautiful to look at life in its simplicity sometimes. I feel like Taoism just brings you back to the simplicity of life, and you realize you don't really have to force anything at all. Life has a beautiful flow to it, and once again we can learn a lot from nature and see its flow, realize how everything's working in harmony with each other, with itself. And it's a lot more peaceful to live in this way, as opposed to thinking you have to struggle in life and try so hard to get things done. You know, it doesn't mean there's no effort involved. Sometimes you might have to sort of push your way through things in life a little bit, but essentially there is a way to do things in this manner where you're really just in that flow, in the zone, and you're not having to struggle or force a thing. That state of non-resistance. So yeah, that's all I want to share for today. Hope everyone has an amazing day. Get out and enjoy this beautiful sunshine if you can. Peace and limitless love.